Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Did President Trump have anything to do with the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show?
I speculated the other day that Donald Trump absolutely had involvement in the firing of Stephen Colbert. And it seems as though I was right. Not that I'm some kind of a psychic or genius or had my thumb on the ear to the railroad track or the ground or whatever the metaphor is. Everybody kind of saw the writing on the wall. They knew that at the very least, indirectly, Donald Trump had a role to play in the firing of Stephen Colbert, who's the host of the most popular, highly rated late night show in the country, who got fired for economic reasons. So if Stephen Colbert isn't making money for CBS, none of these other guys, the Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, none of them are making money either because they're not number one in the space. He is. I think that's a bit of a mistake because I think Seth Meyers, he'd be my guy. I love Stephen Colbert, but Seth Meyers brings me laugh out loud kind of enjoyment on his closer look. Anyway, this episode brought to you by Seth Meyers, I guess. So yesterday, though, Bill Hemmer, one of the news anchors on Fox News, is interviewing Brendan Carr, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commissioner. And he's asked directly. He doesn't beat around the bush, Bill Hemmer. He doesn't skirt the issue. It's not a sideways question. I believe he says directly, did President Trump have anything to do with the cancellation of Colbert's show? And much like with so many other things, what isn't said is more powerful than what is said. The question is direct, it is pointed, it is clear, it is obvious, and it is avoided. He does not come right out and answer it, even when pressed again. When he gives the answer, Bill Hemmer says, I didn't hear an answer there. He still doesn't answer. That should tell you everything you need to know about Trump's not indirect involvement in the firing of Stephen Colbert, but direct.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Did President Trump have anything to do with the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show?
Well, here's what's important to keep in mind is a broader dynamic. When President Trump ran for election, he ran right at these legacy broadcast media outfits and the New York and Hollywood elites that are behind it, and he smashed the facade that these are gatekeepers that can control what Americans think and what Americans can say. And once you do that, you've exposed the business model of a lot of these outfits as being nothing more than a partisan circus. And so I think there's a lot of consequences that are flowing from President Trump deciding, I'm not going to play by the rules of politicians in the past and let these legacy outfits dictate the narratives in the terms of the debate. And he's succeeding. Just look at what's happening. NPR has been defunded. PBS has been defunded. Colbert is getting cancer. You've got anchors and news media personalities losing their jobs. Again, all of this is downstream of President Trump's decision to stand up. And he stood up for the American people because the American people do not trust these legacy gatekeepers anymore. And all of this, I think, is consequences of that broader dynamic.
Okay, I asked you a very direct question. I did not hear a yes or a no in your answer. I heard a maybe.
Yeah, ultimately, these are business decisions for CBS to make and for these outfits to make. And I'm, shocked at the type of stuff that you just played. They don't find to be in their profitable business interests.
One, not an answer. None of that is an answer. But what he didn't say should tell you everything you need to know. Talking about gatekeepers, about what people can say. And here's part of the problem. This is has a chilling impact on the First Amendment of the Constitution. If a president is getting involved in what late night shows, who they hire and what they say, and if they don't say a thing that Donald Trump approves of, they get fired. This is like state media type of shit. CBS has bent the knee so readily, so aggressively, so obsequiously to Donald Trump that I don't know that they're ever going to be able to regain their reputation back. This is the network of 60 Minutes that is now given Donald Trump $16 million to make a case go away so that they could merge with another company. It's seeking favor from the cult leader and giving him everything he wants, including the silencing of critics of his policies and, hell, of himself as a human being. You know who's next? People in my space. The Brian Tyler Cohens and the David Pacmans and the smaller, yet just as substantial, the Jesse Dollemores, the Luke Beasleys, the million plus channels and the smaller channels. They'll be next. This is going in gradation. They're going for the big fish first. And when they're gone, the only people left to attack, to silence, are people like me. And then it'll be people like you. They don't have the resources necessary to do it all at once. They're doing the frog in the pot thing, which isn't a real thing, but you know the metaphor. Anyway, I solicit your conversation here. Let's have a conversation in the comments. For one, that'll help YouTube share this content so I can help grow this channel, so I can be slightly more difficult to mess with by Donald Trump. Look, if they're doing it to Stephen Colbert, there's little hope here, but we need to get all on the same page about supporting independent media, supporting critical voices of Donald Trump, whether they be in corporate media, whether they be here. Very important. If you want to help support this work on that note, you can click the join button below, and for $2 a month, help me produce these videos, reaching the millions of people that I do every month. You can also, even better, because they take way less money, go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast, and you can help support the work with $2 a month there. Follow me on social media. I'm on Blue Sky mainly, but everywhere else except Nazi Twitter. @Dollemore is where I can be found. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another. Many of you are aware that my dear friend and brother of choice, not of blood, Brett McAfee, suffered a near-fatal medical emergency last summer while our families were on vacation in Scotland. I appreciate to no end the outpouring of support for Brett that you all gave. And I'm also very happy to report that he is safe and healing and working that long path of recovery. What I've probably not told you about Brett is that beyond being an excellent friend, he's also a talented writer. We have been the best of friends since we were kids, and I have been continually inspired by his creativity and by the truly singular take that he has on life. Over 2 decades ago, he wrote a poem called The Grateful Child. It's an acknowledgement of all the simple strengths that we tend to overlook. Written from the perspective of a young person, multiple grateful children express gratitude to their parents for the elements that make them who they are. The accounting of these everyday gifts inspires a clear reminder that we should not take anything for granted. I've shared Brett's remarkable poem with numerous people over the years, and a reoccurring response is that this should be a book. Well, we finally decided to listen to those people. The Grateful Child is not only a children's book for adults in your life, it's also an adult's book for children in your life. Everyone will appreciate its straightforward yet elegant celebration of life's little endowments. Click the link below to pre-order now, or simply scan this QR code and order your copy or copies today. But this being an illustrated book, we could not survive on the words alone. To pair with Brett's touching words, we searched all over for an illustrator who could bring The Grateful Child to visual life. We landed on somebody right here in the community from this show. Leah Farshid is an internationally acclaimed illustrator who, like you, is also an audience member. The moment we saw the first images that Leah drew to accompany Brett's text, we knew we had a perfect combination. It brings me tremendous joy to share my best friend's beautiful poem and Leah's spectacular images with the world. Everyone can benefit from The Grateful Child, just as I benefit from Brett's lifelong friendship. Share this beautiful book with your children. Share it with your parents or other relatives. The Grateful Child is an easy and exceptional way to show appreciation for someone in your life, young or old. Support someone you love and support this channel by giving the Grateful Child. Click the link below to pre-order now or simply scan this QR code. I am pretty sure your children need a copy. And your mom, your nieces and your nephews, your Grandpa Charlie too. Don't forget Grandpa Charlie. I think he'd love this. Make the Grateful Child a part of your life. It has been such an excellent part of mine.